Rhyming. What up, people? It's been a minute. Yeah, and it's the October announcements. Been doing this for years. Welcome to all the new people, all the new subscribers. Thank you for watching. Please check out some of the videos. I got a lot of videos up there. I recommend. What's one I recommend? Well, I recommend them all, man. Just take a time and go through. Anyway, the reason I haven't been making videos recently is because I've been thinking. Just sitting around like this. Just thinking. Well, reading books and then, kind of just the enlightenment. That's basically what it is. I'm being enlightened. I'm enlightening myself. And, you know, most of us, we ask questions. Why this? Why that? Why this? And then we try to answer those questions with our own knowledge. Well, I guess, and I think, and I suppose, and this makes sense. But since no one really does any research, it's like, well, how the hell do you know that's true? How is that valid based upon your opinion? And then the crazy thing is usually what people are experiencing, someone else already experienced it. Many people. There are like 6 billion people in the world. So somebody at some point in time has experienced it, and somebody at some point has wrote about it. Such as, you know, J-vlogging. We're all telling the same story. Came to Japan. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. We all show the toilets. We all show, you know, it's just kind of recycling. We put our little spin to it. Yada, yada, yada. So same thing with like deep questions about life and stuff. So I read these books. I think about it. And then I get excited because, wow, this is a kind of framework to contain this. And then I want to share it with y'all. And sometimes I try to, you know, I'm like, here's a book I'm reading and this is what I think and what do you guys think? But like 9 out of 10 times, it's the same response. Like, we don't read books and I don't care about that. I still believe what I believe and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, it's crazy, man. We can't have a real conversation. I mean, YouTube's not really the place to do that, but I was thinking but yeah. But it's not just limited to my channel on YouTube. I see this on every blog and every site. Someone says A and the rest of the people just, that's just how, that's life. And even that's in the book. It's the people study how people interact on, anyway. So I stopped making videos because, you know, I want to have conversations with people who want to have conversations, but no one. So if I'm showing something, that's fine, you know. Hey, this is Osaka. Check it out. Ta-da! Easy. Hey, look at me. I'm getting an award. Ta-da! Easy. But this is, It says in Japan that they have a low birth rate. I wonder why that is. I read in a couple of books, da-da-da-da, da-da-da. So I suppose that da-da-da-da. What do you think? I don't think that because somebody said that, I don't know who they are exactly, but they said, well, who's this person? Well, I don't know who this person is, but that's what they said. And it's like, it fries my brain. What? I'm done talking to you. And this could be any topic. Just a couple weeks ago, my girlfriend and I and her friend were watching a Spike Lee movie. It was called Do the Right Thing. It was made back in, I think, 79 or 80. It was, I don't know when exactly. It was a while ago. Basically, the story is about New York. I think it was Brooklyn. Not sure. And there were black people, and there was, I think there were Italian Americans. Or Italian. Maybe Italian. I don't know. And it was a pizza shop. So the black people went to the pizza shop, and they would eat the pizza, and there was some tension, as there was. And one day the black guy said, how comes there's no black people on the wall? Because on the wall was all Italian people. Maybe his family, maybe famous Italian people. Yeah. So the Italian guy said, if you want pictures on the wall, make your own shop. And he said, and he got mad about it, the black guy. So then the black guy's like, we're going to boycott. So then he goes around and he's telling people, don't go to the pizza shop. But, you know, people need to eat pizza. So they're like, yeah, whatever, pizza shop. So then the climax of the movie, well, there's another character. There's a guy with this big boombox, like LL Cool J. Big boombox. You know, people used to break dance boombox, if you could imagine it. And he's walking around the whole movie doing this. Just playing it really loud. And people are just like, turn that shit down. He's just like, turn it up. So at the end of the movie, the guy, after the Italian owner guy said, "Don't come in my store with that boombox." So he comes in the store with his boombox and he's playing the music. So then the guy, the owner of the store, gets mad. And he pulls out a bat and he goes, "Pachikala, pachik." Well, he didn't make the sound effects. It's more like, "Pew, pew, pew." Still, he didn't make those sound effects either. So then the guy, he's a big guy too. He's like, "Ah," and his eyes got all Hulk-like, and then he grabs the man and he chokes him, and he picks him up and he throws him on the ground, just choking him. Cha, cha. So then all the people are just like, "Ah, fight, fight, fight," because that's what people do. No one breaks it up. So then the cops come, and this is like back in the day. So the cops come and they break it up and they get the big guy, and they got what do you call it? The billy club? I don't know what it is. And don't waste your time telling me. You know what I'm talking about? The little black stick, and they put it against his neck, and they're choking him. And they're trying to get him to stop, and the big guy's fighting, and they're trying to get him to stop, and the big guy's fighting, and they're trying to, and finally the guy just, boom, he dies. And then the cops kick him, like, "Wake up, wake up." He doesn't wake up, so then the cops are like, "Oh shit." They pick him up, they throw him in the car, and they drive away. And then it ends. So then, after the movie's over, my girlfriend and her friend, both Japanese, are just like, "I don't understand why the black guy was behind the white guy." And I'm just like, because he smashed his radio. I was like, "Well, he shouldn't have been playing the radio in the first place." Because, and I'm just trying to, I don't really care about the movie. I fell asleep during the movie, you know? It's not really my fight, you know? But, their perception of of what was right and what was wrong was, the white guy was the victim. The black guy was, well, he was just a person in the thing. And we're just talking about it, and I'm trying to, they're like, "I just don't understand, I just don't understand, and they keep saying this, like, it's, that, and they're getting all these, I'm not going to go into it. So then, you know, the girl goes home, and my girlfriend's like, "I'm so sorry we had to watch this movie, next time we'll pick a fun movie." I'm like, okay, well, whatever. So then, we're sitting there, and then my girlfriend is going at it, because, you know, we're talking and talking. So then this other girl, I live in a guest house, so another girl comes in, she's just like, "I saw you guys watching the movie and it didn't look very fun." So I'm just like, yeah, it's kind of like a, you know, kind of a, how it was back in the day. And my girlfriend explained it, and then the next Japanese girl, like, "I don't understand why he would do that. That's not nice." So I'm like, and they keep, so then it just, like, if there's like a thermometer thing and the little red thing's boiling to the top round, it just boom, and I'm like, ah! Well, I didn't do that, but I was just like, all right. For example, in Japan you got Yakuza, right? Yes. And aren't the Yakuza bad people? Yes. And don't they have like free reign to do whatever they want? Well, but we're trying to do something about it. I'm like, yeah, you're trying, but what are you doing? Well, the cops, they just made a law like 2 years ago. Yeah, but what about 3 years ago? What were they doing? Well, they weren't doing anything. So for all this time, they just been running around doing their thing. Yeah, but I'm like, okay, show me some information about what the cops are doing. Like, well, we don't have any. They don't tell us. So I'm like, how do you know what they're doing? Well, because the news said. Oh, so the news tells you everything that goes on. Remember the nuclear power plant and how there was all these different stories coming out? You really trust your own media? Well, no, but... So then, she's like, what's your point? I'm like, well, you guys can't control the bad things that happen in your country. I don't understand. And she's like, well, but that's different. I'm like, no, it's not. And she's like, yeah, it is. Well, there's two of them. So it's like, no, it's not. So I'm like, don't you have people, bad people? Like, yeah, but there's the Yakuza, and then there's the Chimpura. I'm like, what are Chimpura? Like, those are like thugs. They're not smart. I'm like, don't you think the Yakuza pay the Chimpura to do their dirty work so they don't get their hands dirty? It's like, whoa, yeah. And then there's a guy who lives in our building who happens to kind of look like a Chimpura. And they said, yeah, at first when we saw this guy, we thought he was kind of a bad guy. If we seen him on the street, we wouldn't talk to him because he looks like a bad guy. But since he lives here and we talk to him, he's a good guy and everything's okay. So then you just profiled somebody just based on what they look like. So don't you understand the dynamics of what is going on? And they're just like, and we were talking for like a good 2 hours, man. It was getting into the wee hours of the morning. And the more they talked, the less they knew. Like, At one point, they're like, yeah, they just did a high-profile bust of one of the Yakuza family members, right? And I'm like, what's he look like? They're like, we don't know. I'm like, why don't you know? It's like, because they don't want to show his face. Now, usually the Yakuza top dudes are like old, Ajisan? I said it wrong, Ajisan, whatever. Old grandpa type looking people. And in Japan, everybody respects old grandpa type looking people. You know, I see young dudes and they be like, hey, F this, F that. And then the old grandpa dude comes on like, oh, here, take my seat. Let me help. So it's like respect. So how do you know that old guy's not running the Yakuza? Because you never see his face. Whereas in our country, America, I guess other countries, they put their face all over the news and we all know, we know what they tell us, but people are out there actively trying to search and blah, 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 blah. So I wanted to make a video saying, you know, this is Japan, and, you know, but then I remember, if I make a video like that, it's going to like hurt or distort or make people who are in love with Japan be like, you just want to talk about the bad stuff about Japan. That's not my point. I could care less about the bad stuff. I'm just trying to relate it to this one movie, you know? So I let it go. I just left it go. I didn't make a video. I just, you know, do other stuff because I got a lot of stuff to do. I got a lot. I'm going to grad school, man. Going in 2 weeks. I'm so excited. In grad school, this is where you can actually read something and like argue with people. The 30, well, our classes are pretty small, but everybody got to have an opinion. You have to have facts. You got to back it up. And if you can't back it up, you get an F. You fail. Not on YouTube. You don't have to back it up. You just need to be persuasive and have enough people to rally with you. Anyway, so that's why I don't make videos, because I'm thinking like this, and I was thinking maybe I should make another channel where I just kind of rant about whatever is bothering, no, not even bothering, whatever I'm thinking about, and invite people to come and just kind of be like, you're stupid, and we go back and forth, and then when I'm done, I delete them. You know, it's, hey, I had my fun. Goodbye, click. You know, but I'm still deciding. But plus, I'm not going to tell you. You find it, but it's going to be kind of separate. There won't be a rhyming guide. There won't be any rap. It's just kind of a political mat. Anyway, to go along with this story, this is funny, man. The other day, my girlfriend said she was at the train station, and she saw some commotion. A lot of people were standing around, and they were just standing there. So she looked over and she saw this guy, Japanese guy, beating this girl, Japanese girl. About something. Maybe she stole his money. Maybe she's effing some gaijin guy. Who knows the situation? But he is beating up on her. Everybody sees it. There's one cop standing there, kind of watching. So then this old guy runs by. He runs to the thing to get the cops. He runs down there. He runs as fast as an old guy can run. He comes back with 3 cops or 2 cops. So now, and this is what my girlfriend said. She's telling me as she's seen it. I'm not embellishing it any. So she said that the 3 cops started talking to the guy. They said, calm down, sir. Boy in Japanese. Calm down, sir. What is the problem? And maybe the guy said, well. So then they all start to walk to the station. Now, they didn't handcuff him. They didn't grip him up. They just started walking. The man is already beating up on the girl. But, hey, maybe he was having a bad day. You know, he had a bad day. So they're just walking. And then they get down. And then the guy starts running. He's running. And then one cop chases after him. Stop! Stop! So this one guy's like, no! So he's running. And then he runs across the street and the light's yellow. Then the light turns red. The cop stops on the side of the street. The guy runs away. The cop looks at the light and he's waiting for it to turn green. He's waiting. He's waiting. But as he's waiting, the guy's running away. And then my girlfriend went about her business. She came home or whatever. So I'm like, what the? Are you? Because in Japan, they always stop at the red light. I had girlfriends in the past, and even my girlfriend now, when we're walking and it turns red and there's like no cars, and she's like, get your ass over here and get on. There ain't no car coming. I remember way back in the day, I was out in like Saitama, It was like 2 a.m. I just came back from the rental store Sataya. I had my movies. And this guy on a bike was standing next to me. He pulled up, he stopped. There was no cars, so I started to walk, and this old man's like, hey, 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 hey. I'm like, and he starts telling me that the light's red, I shouldn't go. And I'm like, what? And I was mad, because, you know, I want to get home and watch my movies, man. I'm like, what? Where's the car? Where's the car? You see a car? You see a car? You see a car? And he just, you know, left. It's like, you're going to waste my time? But, yeah, so that was just the story right there. So the guy got away, and that's the law in Japan. And to put it with, you know, I see cops all the time by themselves. They never stop me. You see 3 cops, they roll up on me. So anyway, I want to talk about these things. I want to get into it, like why? Because I think it's interesting. I'm not saying that Japan is dysfunctional. I'm saying it's like every other country. I want to kind of just talk about it, you know? But I can't, because if I do, it's just like, oh, you've seen it. Every time I make these videos. Plus, they don't give me points. That's the other thing. After, you know, thinking about, let's say I think about things. People don't really care about these topics unless it relates to them directly. So until one of your favorite YouTubers gets arrested and thrown in jail and beat, no one's really going to be talking about the injustices of Japan. Until one of your favorite J-vlogging girls gets married and her husband leaves, and then she can't pay the child, well, he doesn't pay the child support, so then it's like she has to work extra hard. It's not going to be an issue. And I mean, that's not my platform, you know, I don't really care either way, but I just want to talk about it to get the perspective of the thing. And because, you know, there's some people who make YouTube videos that speak Japanese like mad good. They can actually research all this shit and, you know, kind of put it into a context that other people can understand, like I can't. And if I start learning Japanese, it'll be like another 30, 50 years, maybe 25 for me, before I could. And then by that time, it's like, why do I care? Because the last topic I want to talk about before I bounce out of this video is, you know, I teach in schools, and so every now and then I see like a non-Japanese person. I mean, there's Korean, Chinese, but like some other ethnicity where they're like either white, black, or some shit. And you know, in Japan they have bullying, where people kind of make fun of people for whatever reason. We have those in the States, but usually these kids will bully the kids until they like kill themselves, and it's crazy. But like, yeah, I can't imagine. Like, I had a friend who had a kid in Japan. He like moved back to the States. He's like, I'm not gonna go through that shit, man. Not raised in the States. But I couldn't imagine having my kid go to school and then the kids make fun of him, because it sucks. Because let's say you speak English and Japanese, and there's a lot of kids who do. Their English is like native because their mom or dad is native. So, but they can't answer their hands, because if they answer, they're gonna stick out. It's gonna, oh, you know all the answers, oh, and they give them a hard time. So they gotta dumb their shit down. Like, I'm good though. No, and they can say, I'm good, sir. And it's just like, so the last part of this. So there was this guy. There was this book. Actually, this video is going too long, man. I promised myself it'd be 5 minutes. But anyway, that's why I don't make videos, because this is what I want to talk about, and this is not. You don't want to turn on the Rhyme and Gaijin and get this kind of talk. I don't think you do. And whether you like it or not, we could prove it by how many video likes and how many. There's not going to be many likes. But this is what I want to talk about, because this is what I'm reading about. This is what I'm thinking about. And out of just common sense, I guess, I'm not going to make these videos. Or I'm going to make that other channel where I can kind of talk about this. But yeah, thanks for watching. Well, let me know your thoughts. That's about it. Rhyming. Gaijin. Cheer.